May I now invite for our next session, Mr. Jay Kinra, CEO of Jakin Group, partner of HokuApps India, a fast-growing low-code technology development platform. Mr. Jay Kinra, on stage, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, CREDAI YouthCon. Excited to be with you here today in Hyderabad. And so I think we've all heard about digital transformation. And in fact, it's been a topic, I think, in a lot of these presentations throughout the last few days. But what does it actually mean for us builders in India? Digital transformation is it's a trending topic worldwide, and if you Google it, you'll find endless articles on the importance of how this subject can help businesses be more competitive in today's digital economy. You'll hear all kinds of metrics and statistics. But what I find is that, the essence of what digital transformation actually is and how it can bring real value to your business is often missing. Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to pivot to the tech world and, make a business out of a passion of mine. And that all started with my interest in understanding how to bring really practical use, how to use technology very practically to enhance my own business. And it's that same practical knowledge base and approach using technology that we've been able to take and apply to companies worldwide. So we have to ask ourselves, that somewhere in our fraternity of builders, we think that our employees are not savvy enough to adopt technology. Just yesterday, we were observing, the waiter who came to take our order came with a mobile tablet, punched in the order, and that order went directly to the kitchen. So we have to ask ourselves, that somewhere in our fraternity of builders, we think that our employees are not savvy enough to adopt technology. And if a waiter can do that in a restaurant industry, in the F&B industry, why can't our engineers use technology to enter their GRN or to aggregate a daily report? If you're able to accomplish this, it brings a tremendous value to your organization. Now, I know that we're all busy running our operations and trying to understand the ever-changing dynamics of taxation and laws. And we hear about technology, we hear pitches, we see new products, and we understand that it'll give us a competitive advantage. But many of us struggle with how do we get started? What to invest in? Is this a 2 crore, 5-year journey? Well, it doesn't have to be. There's so many great options available to you that you can just pick up right off the shelf and get started. The important thing, though, is to get started. So this is how a typical organization is set up in India. Maybe some of us have progressed and went through the pains of trying to implement an ERP, and maybe some of us have actually implemented an ERP. Maybe some of us have gone to also adopting certain applications and workflow applications. And many of us are still at the beginning of this journey. We're still on Word and Excel, and that was pretty much the last time we invested in technology. But what you have to understand is that we're all in the same boat. Whether you're at the beginning of this journey or you've implemented a few technologies. None of these systems are communicating and talking to each other. And this is a worldwide problem. You'd be surprised, this is not a problem just isolated to this industry. This is a problem in every industry worldwide, and that is what digital transformation is all about, is how to connect these systems. What digital transformation can do for you is, what it means to me in simple terms, is the connection of these systems, bringing that information to a single platform like the cloud, which enables you to continue to expand and never be held hostage by any one device. Because what you have to understand is technology is always going to improve, and you're going to always have to invest in technology. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for any organization. And where it gets really interesting is once you've pulled this information into a cloud, then you can actually deliver the relevant information to your stakeholders at the right time and the way that you want them to see it. So I thought we could all benefit by seeing a few practical use cases of where we've seen technology give builders in India an immediate return on their investment and bring them real value. So the first thing we'll talk about is integrated systems. So integrate everything. Connect all of your systems and pull it onto one mobile platform. Have the information and visibility you want on your organization available to you at your fingertips. And this is simple technology that's actually available to you now. How many times have we depended on our different departments aggregating Excel sheets and creating pivot tables? And often we get that information after we need it. And perhaps it's wrong most of the time. Well, you can fix this. It's available to you now to aggregate this information and have it available to yourself. Project overviews, of course, having the visibility on your sell-through rates. What does your portfolio look like? How much commercial do I have under construction versus residential? All of this can be done through digital transformation and the connection of your systems. And predictive analytics, understanding where is your sales coming from? Should I be investing in hoardings right now? Or should I take my top performing broker out to lunch? So this can give you great visibility on how to create the most revenue from your channel partners and other revenue generating centers. So the next thing we looked at is communications and collaboration. So I think we're all accustomed to WhatsApp. I mean, how many of us use WhatsApp on a day-to-day basis for business? I think a lot of us do, right? So we follow the same logic that, why are we, when we don't allow our, professional communications on personal emails, why are we allowing our whole company to communicate on WhatsApp? So bring that whole knowledge base in your own organization, a communication platform you can pick up off the shelf right now, and it can transform your business. And once you're able to integrate systems through connecting your existing systems, you can put relevant notifications to your correct stakeholders right on their timeline. So as an example, say a material comes on site. Instead of having to wait for that paper trail to come to the office, I mean, your chief engineer or your entire staff can get that notification right on their communications platform. Or if an important team member is taking a leave, say a sales staff or anybody like that, you can be informed immediately instead of waiting for it to come to your attention through, like I said, a paper trail. How many times has it happened that you have asked a very important question about procurement? Have you procured the transformer, or have you removed the scaffolding? But you can't take any action, typically, on a WhatsApp chat. Well, the technology is available to you today to transform that message into an actionable item. So number 3, the power of GPS. I think we've all seen GPS play a significant role in our day-to-day lives. But the application of GPS in the construction world, I mean, it can bring a lot of accountability and streamline a lot of efficiencies in your organization. So for example, knowing where your sales staff is and them knowing that you have that visibility can immediately improve their overall performance and accountability. Or the assignment of field tasks. In this case, we created an app that allows, instead of having to call each member to understand, each one of the employees to understand where they are geographically in comparison to the maintenance call that's come, they can just look on the map, push the button without even calling, and that task of assignment can happen. Number two, enhanced customer experience. So giving the ability to your customers to have an application with their entire transaction history with your organization from day one, we've seen that to add a lot of value to builders in India, where things like their payments can be streamlined on their mobile app, and no longer do they need to interact with your staff to, or rather your staff interact with them to follow up for payments. A complete document archive. Again, less coordination within your organization to answer questions about, hey, where's my booking slip, or where's my agreement or possession letters. And if this information is stored on a customer's phone, they see value in that. And if they see value in that, then you have a direct link to your customer forever. This is another, one of my favorites, is the ability for raising tickets. How many times has it happened where your key customer has a complaint, but it doesn't surface to you until it's an SOS? Well, if you adopt these simple technologies, you would have visibility on that immediately. And maybe you can avoid a few SOSs. And of course, the ability to get real-time feedback from your customers, it gives you the understanding unbiased of how you're measuring up to their expectations. And number one, digitizing your inventory. And we've seen that to bring an immediate return on investment to builders. If you have the ability to enhance your revenue generating centers with real-time information about what is actually available instead of them having to call your sales staff or receive an email, oh man, it's a game changer. If you give them the tools to register their leads and have that lead automatically populate in your CRM with their name on it, that transparency forms a different kind of a relationship. And if you're empowering your revenue centers with this kind of simple technology that maybe other people are not, it creates a lasting relationship with that broker, and it becomes more difficult for them to want to sell anybody else's inventory. And finally, integrated CRMs. So if you're able to see where your leads are coming from, whether it's Facebook or various other digital platforms, it gives you a lot of visibility on where you should actually spend your money. So I think we can all appreciate that technology has significantly changed our lives in the last few years, and the way we interact and communicate with each other, to the way that we collaborate with each other. But we have to ask ourselves as business owners, are we catering to that change? And not only from the perspective of a customer experience, but even from our employees' experience, and heck, even our own experiences and conveniences. Are we set up to attract the talent and thought leaders who can add real value when we still operate with so much paperwork and double entry into different systems? So automate these processes. The technology is available to you right now. And redirect those salaries and energies towards revenue generating centers. Mr. KTR mentioned yesterday a quote from JFK that, it's not the richest countries that have good infrastructure. It's good infrastructure that produces riches in countries. Well, believe me, the same applies to the infrastructure in our organizations, based on your culture and your business processes. And when these business processes can be enhanced by technology, oh man, it's a game changer. And the best thing about technology is the speed at which you're able to create applications and custom software tailored to your business and your organization has changed so much that you can be innovators. And we're talking about what used to take 6 months to a year to develop can now take weeks and days. And I'm a conduit to that kind of technology. And I've personally seen These simple technological implementations changed my business and many others. And it's exciting. To run faster, generate more money, create more efficiency, and a more accountable work culture, and a better customer experience. And interestingly enough, the best innovations that we've seen are not coming from big IT companies with ready-made products. They're coming actually from you guys right here. So the whole cornerstone of today's conversation is that technology doesn't have to be a big, giant, daunting task. There are n number of simple tweaks that you can implement in your organization right now that can bring you a lot of value. So the two takeaways: technology is awesome. And the last takeaway I would like you to have from today's conversation is that, again, there's so much available to you. There's no reason why you shouldn't get started, so get started. Thank you very much.